Hi everyone in the Roots here. Welcome to my studio today. I'm so sorry that this video is coming out a little late. I was suddenly really bombarded with client work and I just wasn't in the financial situation to turn it down. So I do apologize. I'm so sorry that this is coming out a little later. We do have one question for this week, but I do want to give a shout out to everyone who is in the Roots tier for this month, and that is a shout out to Annie, Lizzie, and Penny. Thank you so much for supporting me and for allowing me to create this content for you. So yeah, let's get started. So this week, sorry, the question for this month comes from Lizzie. And Lizzie, I hope you had a great time in Mexico again. The question is, sorry, I'm just gonna find over here. I would love to find out what tools you use for illustrating, digital or physical. So, I do have my tools right here for you all to see. The first tool I'll show you is my Wacom Cintiq. Oops, sorry about that. This Cintiq is the 13-inch Cintiq. I have debated on whether to get the 21 or 24-inch Cintiq, but I do like this one a lot, and the reason is because I can just unplug it over here and then I can just slide it into this messy drawer. I can slide into that messy drawer, and then I have all the space left for me to draw my to do line work on. And I'm not sure if every one of you know, but my line work is done physically for the most part, and I color it digitally, so I would have all this space to do line work. And I do like working here because I have the monitor right there, and yeah, so it's a comfortable space to work on. I don't have a lot of things on my desk, and the reason for that is because I like a breathable space. I don't like too much clutter in my desk. It plays around with if it's too cluttered, then I'm probably in an anxious mind space, and because of that, I try to keep it as clean as possible. So on my Cintiq here, the digital tools that I use is Photoshop CS6, and I still use CS6 because I got it in art school. I never jumped on to getting the Creative Cloud subscription version, mostly because I was lazy at the time to sign up for something else, but also I paid so much money for this one, so I decided to just stick with it. But yeah, so I use this one, and with CS6 I use Lazy Lazumi, and I do believe I pay annually for this tool, and it's a tool that I absolutely adore, and that's because it comes with so much to help me draw, and it enhances my drawing capabilities a lot. So over here we have the ruler and perspective, and over here you can see the tool popping up, and yeah, so that way I can draw stuff in perspective much more easily as well. So so this tool has been really useful for me, and on top of that, I can like change how accurate the perspective is. So over here you have accuracy. I can turn that down, and it doesn't have to follow the line, but it kind of helps you and stuff. But yeah, so I love using this tool. There's so much other things that come with it over here, as you can see. So if I go to ellipse, there will be this circle tool that will help me draw perfect circles. So yeah, this is a very useful tool for me when I'm drawing digitally, and I do draw digitally quite often, especially when I'm sketching. I try to keep my sketches as close to the final line work as possible, and that is so that I spend more time just making quality lines when I'm doing my inking process. And yeah, so that's what I use on here. I also use Clip Studio Paint as well. I do really like using Clip Studio Paint, especially when I'm doing black and white work. They have a lot of really great tools on there that I tend to use. And so yeah, besides my computer, I also use my iPad Pro. So on my iPad Pro, like many people, I use Procreate, and I just bought Clip Studio Paint. I just bought it, I think, a week ago, so I've really been enjoying that, and I have been playing around with that quite a bit. But yeah, so I have mostly been using Procreate, and it's mostly for things like on the go sketches when I can't do sketches at home, or I'm just tired of working at my desk for some reason. So yes, that's another tool that I use for digital drawing. For physical drawing, so after I do digital sketches, I will tend to print them out. I tend to print it out bigger, so it's usually on 2 pieces of paper that I will tape together. And after this is done and after it's all taped up, I will use Duralar. And Duralar comes in smaller pieces, but I bought a whole roll because I do use it very often, and I really like using it because it is kind of forgiving. I put this right on top of my digital sketch, and I will do the line work. So here is the line work for this piece. And as you can see, the line quality is very different. I love the line quality that I can get from drawing on the Duralar a lot, because I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it, and I love how it scans into the computer when I'm done it for coloring afterwards. But that's how it looks like. I'll cut a piece of Duralar down, and I'll put it on top, and I'll trace over it, and I'm much more careful with how I make my lines. So it is quite detailed, the digital line work, but it's much cleaner, as you can see here, when I do the line on the Duralar. And yeah, so the Duralar I buy at an art store. I do not remember if there was a company. I'm pretty sure Duralar is the company. And it's actually called Vellum or something. I'm not exactly sure because I bought this years ago and I'm still going through it. But yeah, I really love this. And what I use to quote unquote ink is this right here. It's the Prismacolor, and I use black. So I usually buy like 20 at a time when I go to the art store, basically until they're out of stock. And yeah, so I use that. I use a pencil extender, and this one is just is Derwent. I have no preference at all with what pencil extender I used, but that's the one I bought. I haven't used any other pencil crayon besides Prismacolor for doing line work. And I haven't really thought of experimenting yet, just because I'm so dug into I'm so like, yeah, I'm a creature of habit, and once I find something I love, it's kind of forever. So maybe one day I'll feel really, really adventurous and get another another one. But for erasers, I use this one right here. This is the Tombow Mono Zero, and I really like this one just because look how thin that is. Look how small this is. So yeah, I really like using this one. The one thing I do usually say about Duralar is it is forgiving, but it's not everlastingly forgiving. So after I use my pencil crayon and I do a line and I go through the same spot maybe 3 times, after that the grit of the vellum or of this plastic or paper, it will be lost, and the line quality won't be the same. So it's not 100% forgiving. You can only use go buy one part of the paper, like just a limited amount of time before it kind of caves in and you lose a consistent line quality. So those are the tools that I use for my physical work. And another tool that I use that probably should be mentioned is a newspaper. It's this one. I've been using this for months and months now. But yeah, when I trace, I have to have something to trace on top of, and this has been what goes underneath all of the printout. And yeah, so I will use that to cushion my work, and to scan it in, I use a Canon Lid 110. So I like using this one because the top is really flimsy, and a lot of my line work, because it is really large, and I don't really have the space to get like a really large scanner. I bought this one. It's not super expensive. It's not the cheapest on the market either, but I can actually like scan it in piece by piece, the top half and then the bottom half, and it's easy because the lid is really flimsy, and so like I can move the paper through very easily. I scan it in piece by piece, and then I'll stitch them together on Photoshop. Put that right here. But yeah, that is the tools that I use, the digital and the physical tools that I use. I hope this answers your question. If you do have any more questions, or if you have follow-up questions, feel free to drop those into the DMs on Patreon, and I will try my best to answer them. I do hope that this wasn't super rambly. I do apologize if it was. But these are really fun to make, and I really get into it. I try to go into as much detail as I can. But yeah, I hope you're also able to pick something from it and apply it to your own work. And yeah, thank you again for being here and for supporting me. Again, it means the world to be able to do something like this for you. And yeah, I hope you're having the most wonderful day or evening or whenever you're seeing this. All right then, bye.